actually on time tonight. Howdy. How y'all doing? Anybody there? Knock, knock. Reba's here. Reba's here letting herself known. There's one waiting. That's probably me because I have it opened up on YouTube. Anyway, maybe watching the replay or whatever. So, how much do you think you really make doing the gig apps? Not one in general, and I'm not picking one out over the other. Spark, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Roadie, whatever it is you do. I had a video come out the Monday and got quite a few comments on it, but it made me get to thinking about things. And I was had a comment. How you doing, Miss Lisa? How you doing, Mr. Dashing Wumble? My week, it hadn't been as good as anybody. She was telling me how much she's made so far, and I was supposed to be full time delivery, and she's part time, and she's made more than me. But I've been doing other things too. But anyway, I actually had wrote a reply to a comment, but I took that reply off because it went in really deep uh, to reply to that comment. But what it was, it basically, I think this is it. Well, yeah, this. Well, I just put it on there. Am I showing up over here? How you doing, Mr. T. Ryan? I'm just, the thing I wrote. I don't know. It's not showing up over on my YouTube screen.
The
Huh?
the thing on the back of your camera went black. Is that normal?
Black. Uh, no, it should be.
Okay.
I guess it's normal. Anyway, I hope I'm still here. Lisa said, "Hi, Emily."
Hi.
She's watching the back of my viewfinder on the back of my camera. But anyway, here's the thing. This is what I wrote. It had to do with seniors. So I'm just showing y'all what I wrote and I took back off. But the comment had to do with they thought that maybe the apps was taking advantage of seniors. But I really don't think that. I think they take advantage of everybody, whether you're 18 or 80. But I kind of did a little breakdown. And if you go on down, it talks about if you worked an 8 hour shift and you made $100, and that wouldn't be bad, but to make that, you had to drive 130 miles. And that's roughly, and I just figured, calculated at 15 miles a gallon. I know people get better gas mileage, but some people get worse gas mileage. I just did the average. So you're looking at like $25 in gas to make that $100. But then, and this was I found this on Google, So if you found it on Google, it's got to be right. It's like finding something on Facebook. If it's on Facebook, it's got to be the truth. Just kidding. But anyway, the AAA says it's 9 cents per mile for maintenance on a vehicle. So when you subtract that, that's 1170 away, and then that leaves you 63.30. So then you take 10% of that and put it back for taxes, which we all should be doing, but we probably don't. I know Emily does, but she's not the normal person. She she's a little more meticulous, and there's probably a lot more people like her. I'm just not one of them, and I should be. So I'm hoping some of that rubs off on me, which some of it has started rubbing off. But so anyway, you're looking at 56.97 now that you made for that day, and then you got to stop and think about what you have spent on a bottle of water, a bottle of Coke, pop, soda, whatever you want to call it, iced tea. And you probably got a burger or a burrito or something to hold you over till supper or whatever. Anyway, you ate lunch and you had snacks. And I just did modestly, $12. If you go to McDonald's, you can get snacks during the day, or a bag of chips and a drink and McDonald's for $12 most of the time, unless you really eat like a double quarter pounder with cheese, then it's not going to work out very well. You're going to spend more than that. But nevertheless, I just figured $12. And now you take all that away and you wind up with 44.97 in that 8 hour day after you subtract all your costs. And if you do that by the hour, that comes out $5.62 an hour. Now, what this was all related to is the video. I don't know if any of y'all watched it, but if you did, thank you. But the video had to do with taking junk orders and stuff like that. And if you're taking low paying orders, whether it's on Spark or DoorDash or Uber Eats, whatever it's on, and you're driving a lot of miles, because I do know that here you have to drive a lot, like on DoorDash, you're going to drive twice as many miles to make the same amount of money as you do on Spark, even now. And most of the Spark orders are probably garbage, but there's enough Spark orders just to make a decent daily money most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. No AC. Just read your message. um, I don't know why this is not popping up over here. Oh, that screen didn't refresh. That may be it. Let me refresh that screen. Because it said live in 15 minutes. Oh, yeah, there I am. I see myself. Anyway, y'all can kind of see what I'm talking about. 8 hour shift, $100 a day, 130 miles, 15 miles a gallon, average $25 in gas. AAA says 9 cents a mile. That's 11.70, 10% off on gas. Eating snacks, $12, and then that makes you a total of 44.97 in that day out of $100. So, how close do y'all think that is? Do you think that's pretty close, or do you think I'm way off? That was, and my question, the question was how much are you really making? It was a rhetorical question. I mean, I'm not really asking you how much you make, but a lot of people that take these lowball orders, I think they really need to um, think about how much they're actually really making. So, and there was something else. You think it's pretty close? I think it's pretty close, and that's why I think a lot of people struggle. And most of us are cherry picking, whether it's Spark, DoorDash, whatever. We're cherry picking. We're not going to take all the orders. And there was another comment for those who watching this that does Spark. They said that another YouTuber that does Spark videos, they didn't say the name and I didn't ask, said that if you take the first order on Spark, regardless of what it pays, then usually the rest of your orders are all going to be good. I don't really think that's true, but I wouldn't argue with them. Unfortunately, I thought about trying that out. It's just so hard for me to hit accept on a $7 order just to find out. I may wind up doing it one day. Found your channel recently. Enjoyed your videos. Oh, how you doing, Greg? I appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't think I could accept a $7 order.
You don't think you could accept?
Well, on DoorDash, I did all the time.
Well, yeah, but DoorDash, you're doing 3, 4, 5 orders an hour. When you're doing that, DoorDash is great. As long as they're $6 a piece and you're getting 4 of them an hour, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is with DoorDash here anyway. I don't know about everywhere, but here anyway. Like I said a while ago, you're going to spend or you're going to drive probably close to double the miles on DoorDash to make the same amount of money as you do on Spark. That's not always true, but I think on average it comes out that way. Emily kind of calculated it because she used to not want to do Spark. She was a DoorDash queen. All she wanted to do was DoorDash. And I kept saying, I think you'll make more money doing Spark. And her biggest issue, she didn't want to sit around and wait on order because she's go 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 go. She's constantly got to be doing something. But she found out. I mean, but she started when Spark was still going good, but it started kind of tapering off since then. I mean, it still does okay.
They gave me good incentives at the beginning.
Yeah,
Like complete 5 trips, get $200.
yeah, 5 trips, $200. Yeah, and that people had asked me about it. I said, yeah, you're start off, go for it, but don't count on that. Your first 3 4 months, or well, a lot of people say your first 100 orders, you're going to make good on. After that, you're going to be just another drop in the bucket like the rest of us. And I think that's true. But the whole thing is, what I was getting at is if you take these lowball orders and you make $100 in a day, by the time you subtract everything, and that's what these people are not doing, is they're not thinking about what it's costing them. And you don't think about your oil changes and your tire rotations and buying new tires. You don't think about that daily. You think about it the day of that it happens, that you have to do it. And then you're out 50, $60 or whatever on an oil change. Might get a little less in some places, but of course tires you're looking at $1,000 if you got to replace all 4 of them. DoorDash is usually good for me, but this week it's been delivered. What is this little thing over here that is in my way? It has a little heart on the chat right there. I don't like that. It blocks the end of the text. I see good for, and then it's got the little heart, but I can see through it. And anyway, I don't like that. I wonder if there's a way to move that or close it. I don't know. I haven't figured it out later. But anyway, and there was something else. I am not a prejudiced person, but apparently there's a lot of drivers that don't like foreign drivers. I got nothing. The only people that I wished wasn't driving uh, was the ones that are illegally driving and using other people's accounts and stuff like that. But if you're a legitimate driver, I don't care if you're from Afghanistan, well, I was trying to think of some other foreign country or foreign city. I don't care where you're from. If you're doing it, you know. But the thing is a lot of the people, and one person made a good. They made me think about it, and that's right. If they're from a poorer paying country, I think they actually said Africa, but anywhere like if Mexico City, you know, then if you can make $50 a day, you're making bank compared to what you was making. But it doesn't matter how much you used to make and how much you're making now. It may sound good, but your costs are still going to be the $25 for gas, $12 to $15 for eating, the maintenance on your vehicle, and you're just going to drive until the wheels fall off and just out of a job. So my thoughts on it is don't gripe and complain about the foreigners. They're here. They're here to stay. We were at one time great great grandparents or whatever. Most of us were from other countries. Our heritage, you know. I got Irish and Scottish and Black Dutch and I don't know what all. I'm just a mutt. Very little Native American, but there's a little. But regardless, if they're doing it legally, let's just. I think everybody needs to quit griping about them and try to help them. help them understand what what the costs are, because apparently they don't think about it, and it may not do any good. And at a national level, I don't think we'd do any good. There's been people that's tried to do the strike on DoorDash and stuff. No, that's going to do any good. But if do it on a local level, just the two, three Spark drivers, DoorDash drivers that you talk to, just talk to them a little bit at a time at the local level. You're not going to do it nationally, but at the local level. How you doing, pork chop? Deliver that. I don't think we have that here. I think I heard somebody talking about it. I have a friend who puts nothing away for vehicle maintenance or taxes, makes decent money with Spark, but lives paycheck to paycheck. He is one car repair away from being unemployed. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. See, that would be, you're from England. That would be people like people grabbing, oh, they're not even American. Yeah, they're American as anybody else. You might not have been born here, but you're legal, you know. I'm assuming you are, but I'm sure you are. $50 a day, yikes. Well, if you're from somewhere that's not used to making $100 a day, even or even $50 a day, you might be used to making $25 a day. You know, um, and you do a couple of three or four spark orders, and you doubled or tripled what you normally would have made back where you came from. But everything was cheaper there too. It'd be like me trying to earn the same income that I am now and move to California on that income. It ain't going to happen. I probably couldn't afford a cardboard box in California. But here in North Texas, it's a lot. It's not a whole lot cheaper, but it's a lot cheaper. The whole thing is if they're doing it, and it don't matter if they're legal. I mean, if they're foreign or not, or if they're young or if they're old, they need to understand. Most older people, and I'm not criticizing the younger people, but the majority of the older people that are, say, like 40 and over, they understand the cost of gas. There's some that's younger than that understands it, but to really comprehend it, those that have had money, been broke, couldn't afford to eat, and then they've got a little bit more money again, they appreciate things and they learn the value of a dollar a little more. And they understand you can't make money doing 650 Spark orders or 275 and 250 DoorDash orders. You can't make money doing that. And you'll be working in the hole. Am I hearing thunder again?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. I turned the sprinkler on. We had the Permagreen does the yard, and they put some stuff out and said to water it in. Had storms north and south of us today. Poured down rain where we was delivering at. Get home, hadn't rained a drop. Now it looks like it's all north of us up in Oklahoma. But anyway, that's the way it goes. How you doing, Giggity? Grandpa is a Heinz 57. The best. It was expensive to move here. A lot of hoops to go through to be legal. Yeah, I would imagine so. I used to work with a guy. He was from Germany, but I don't know all the details. He wound up getting dual citizenship. I don't know. Maybe his parents was military. I don't know the whole story. Deal. But nevertheless, I I don't think anybody should dislike or not like somebody that's parked next to them just because their skin color might be a little darker or they might have an accent. I don't care if they're, like I said, I don't care if they're from Afghanistan, if they're from Mexico, if they're from England. We're all human. If you're doing the job and doing it right and doing it legally, Who cares? But what we do need to care about is getting everybody together on the same page that you can't take these lowball orders and make any money. And as long as that was what my video was about, as long as people take these orders, the companies are not going to change. Matter of fact, they're going to keep going down. And I honestly think the pay scales are going to continue to go down as long as there's people doing the deliveries. I think they're going to keep going down until it gets to be a balance. When they get below and nothing's getting delivered, they're going to say, okay, we got to come up just a little bit. They'll come up a quarter at a time rather than a dollar at a time like they drop it. To go up a quarter at a time until they get that balance. And then people will be doing orders for $1 to $1.50 base pay. I look for that in the next year to 2 years. 10 years from now, there may not even be many apps around.
Drones.
Yeah, drones. And, they've already got the vans doing Walmart. And where, like New York or whatever, they got the drones doing ride share, or they're trying to do it. 10 years from now, you'll have drones delivering stuff. I don't know. I don't know that drones can handle the payload on big stuff, because I do know there's some drones that Casey Neistat, I don't know if any of y'all know who he is. He's a big time YouTuber, and he he skied behind a drone. I mean, granted he's not a big guy, but it's different pulling something than totally lifting something. I don't think a drone is going to lift, 100 pounds worth of groceries, but a loaf of bread, a bag of chips, all that kind of stuff, they could eliminate us altogether. And they're already working on eliminating the contracted drivers like us, doing the employee in-home delivery, and then some of them probably will just have curbside. But I think they're starting to lose a lot of money. To be honest with you, and here's why. And it just so happened we caught it, and what the other customer caught it. We did a spark order the other day, and we ordered a 1 gallon yard sprayer, to kill weeds, and the girl delivered it to the wrong house. And what we got the other person's stuff, and it wasn't that much. It had a watermelon. But what I was getting at, if you, and it's not an excuse, but if you have two orders with, 5 or 6 bags of just regular canned goods, loaf of bread, chips, whatever, it's not an excuse, but I could see how you could kind of get that mixed up if you wasn't paying attention. But when you have things like a watermelon in the order or a big 1 gallon sprayer, you ought to be sitting in the parking lot when you're waiting to get loaded to kind of just scroll through to see what you have. And when you go to that one house and you think, wait a minute, they're supposed to have a sprayer, then you know that and it could have been the loader, because the loader has done it to me, and they've done it to Emily a few times. They give you the wrong sticker. And well, I'm going to put this in the back and this in the trunk, or in the back end when her SUV. Me, it's the back seat and the trunk, and they've switched them. I caught it, but there has been a couple of times when I first started, I didn't catch it. So luckily, I caught it when I went to the next drop, so I got it switched before any phone calls was made. But accidents happen. But when you have big items, but what I'm getting at is they're hiring so many people now that don't care. They'll do. I did. I think I might have mentioned this last live, but I did the delivery, and they said they wanted it left on their front porch, and I was like, where else am I going to leave it? Well, when I got to their house, they had a big. Yeah, I did talk about this last week, but they had a big trailer, 1-ton pickup, big RV, and then like a baby gate fence. It was like the size of a baby gate, but it was a fence that went around the porch. So I kind of get that, but people was leaving orders out on the sidewalk. So you get you you get what you pay for, and they're getting a lot of drivers that don't care anymore because they ain't getting paid much, and if they wanted to get paid more, they'd quit taking those orders because I don't blame Walmart. I don't blame DoorDash. I don't blame Uber Eats. I don't blame any of them for lowering the pay. And in reality, you can't really blame the customers because if the customers can get away with saving money, then they're going to. If DoorDash can make more money, if Walmart can make more money and still get the stuff delivered, they're going to do that. So who does that leave to blame? How you doing, Mr. Driven Dad? Mr. Tony. Yeah, I saw something on Steve's live. Somebody said something about you. You had a beard when you was born. Uh, Greg says, I catch the loaders placing wrong stickers on orders often. I honestly wonder how this is profitable for Walmart considering how many orders they must have to refund. But that was another thing.
They haven't refunded none yet.
Okay. And I made a comment last night on my video, and she was already asleep. So when they did deliver us wrong order, Emily called Walmart. Walmart said to call Spark, right?
Now I had to call 1-800 Walmart.
1-800 Walmart. Then they was going to issue the refund, but what did they say, 2 weeks or 30 days?
10 days.
10 days? 10 days before you could get a refund. And for most of us, that might be a little bit of a trouble. But could you imagine if
that was all the money you had?
If that was all the money you had, and you don't get to eat, and you're not getting a refund for 10 days. That's what's bad. And that between the loaders putting the stickers on the wrong orders, like Greg said, but sometimes there's things like if one order has a big old box of diapers and the other order don't have big noticeable things. I think drivers should be able to notice. Like I said a while ago, if everybody's got kind of the same groceries, canned goods, chips, bread, I understand that one. But
the secret is to look at the orders before you pick them up.
Yeah.
Look for big, distinct cases of water.
Yeah, cases of water.
Distinguishing
stuff that stands out. Because you're not going to be doing anything while you're waiting on that fifth. Well, sometimes 5-minute wait to get your order loaded. Sometimes 15 or 20 minutes. Either way, you have time between the time you accept that order and the time that order gets loaded in your vehicle to just kind of scroll through the shopping order. I always do. It don't mean I'm not going to still make a mistake because I'm human. And we make mistakes. But the likelihood of it's lessened a lot if you would just look at the orders. Just kind of, you don't have to memorize it. Just see something that stands out. 2 cases of water, or big box of diapers, or a 1-gallon sprayer, lawn sprayer. Things should stand out to you. You ought to notice things. But so they take your money fast, but hate to refund it. Exactly. Yeah, and I mean that would be horrible if you was especially a single parent, and you don't have anybody. Maybe you moved to a town, got married, had kids, or you got married, y'all moved to a town, had kids. She or he left you, and there you are trying to raise kids, living, scraping by, and then they don't bring you your order, or they bring you the wrong order, and it's something that you can't use at all. And then you got to wait 10 days for a refund. I don't think that's right. I think it should be immediately. But that's a different beast right there that I think they need to fix. But what we can control, and I really think we could, I think we could control the pay if everybody would try to get on the same page. Like I said, doing it nationally, like if you get on YouTube or Facebook groups. Well, Facebook groups, you might have local Facebook groups, but that would be the key thing. If you can get everybody just at your one, if you have one particular Walmart you go to, or particular restaurant you pick DoorDash orders up at, if you could just kind of talk to your, not really your coworkers, but your fellow drivers, and just kind of put a bug in their ear. Just don't tell them they shouldn't take it. Just mention what the disadvantages of it, taking it. You know, they may got a free tank of gas and they just need to make $20. Who knows? Everybody's got different things going on in their lives at different times. But overall, I think at a local level, we could make a difference because people are not seeing the big picture. And I don't know. That's just my thoughts. My whole thing is like this title of the topic. How much money are you really making? You know, most of us are experienced, but you got so many of these new drivers that are not. And I don't think they're really realizing how much they're not making. They're thinking, I made $100 a day. I made $200 a day. Well, okay, great. That's great. Made $200. How many miles did you drive? How much food did you eat during that day? How many hours did you work? You're 9 cents a mile from maintenance. You deduct all that and then see how much you really make. There's a lot of people that push the multi-apping, and I use the multi-app, and I get it. I understand. And in some markets, I know for a fact it works, but in some markets like this one, it doesn't work. We tried it. I kept doing my DoorDash, my Uber Eats, and I was doing Bite Squad at the time, and I was doing Spark, all of it at the same time. But you wind up driving more miles for the same amount of money.
And you get bad ratings because stuff is late or you're late.
Yeah, you wind up being a little late. You get bad ratings. You know, a lot of people say, and in some areas it works because I've had some people say that they'll pick up a DoorDash order while they're waiting to get their Spark order. Well, in our area, you almost have to be in the parking lot. Now, the other day, I was here at home, and we are several miles from Walmart, and I got
10 miles exactly.
and I got an order from here, which is very rarely. Most of the time, you have to be in the parking lot. So, multi-apping with DoorDash and Spark here doesn't really work out. And if you can fit it in, you're going to wind up messing up your next Spark order, and a Spark order is going to pay quadruple what a DoorDash order is going to pay. That's reality there. But I don't know. Now I think about it, we have two casinos right across the river. One of them, you can take $100 in there, and you can play and play and play and play for 2 3 hours. You're never really gonna win. You win just enough to keep playing. And the next casino, you can go in there with $100, and in 20 minutes you're broke. And the thing is, with the DoorDash orders, you can keep make. I don't even know where I was going with that. With the DoorDash orders, you get a lot of orders, but the payout is small most of the time. Now I know there are banger orders, and I've had them. We've all had them. But with Spark, your orders are triple what a DoorDash order is. Granted, you On Spark, you're only going to get one. But you got to think about how many miles you're driving compared to how many miles you're driving trying to do them DoorDashes and Uber Eats and stuff. That's here. Everywhere is different. And what works for me may not work for Emily, and we're in the same market because the algorithm looks at individuals. So things are different. I don't know. All I'm saying is I don't think a lot of people are realizing how much control we could have over these orders. Because as long as people are taking the orders that are low ball, the pay is going to continue to go down, and you can't blame the companies. They're out for to make a profit.
Is the sprinkler on?
Yeah.
It's pouring down rain.
Oh, it's pouring down rain.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting double rain. See, I made it rain again. The last 2 or 3 times I've watered the yard, I made it rain. I'm an Indian dancer, Indian rain dancer. Oh, there are too many. Wait. I want to go back and make sure I didn't miss anything. Uh, I load my own car. I've had a loader screw up. Most of the time on loading the cars, I will. Actually, there was a couple of people that made comments that they said that they can go in the side door, and get their stuff and take it out to their own car. We can't hear, but I do most of the time. I'll load my back seat, and while they're loading the trunk. And I have heard some people say that they're not supposed to get out of their cars. Here, you know, especially when it's 113 degrees out here, they want all the help they can get. And I like watching to see where they put it because they're liable to screw things up. And some of them will throw stuff on top of chips and bread, so you kind of got to watch them a little bit. They take your money fast, but hate to refund it. Yeah, definitely.
It's not raining. It was the sprinkler hitting the carport.
I'm not even gonna say nothing. I think say I'm watching the radar, but I don't see anything on it. I have a tablet where I jot down some of their items. I also look up the addresses and screenshot what the house looks like. That's not a bad idea.
I didn't know you was watering the carport.
Well, see, when it rolls off the carport, we got two hanging baskets that are hanging on the side of the carport. When it rolls off the carport, it waters them too, and it waters the edge. So I'm kind of watering the plants at the same time I'm watering the yard. What be bad? Greg says there are too many drivers who think acceptance rate matters. Yeah, they have to keep theirs high so they can accept the next low paying offer. Yeah, I don't remember if it was the last video. One of the videos I did, somebody was a little. How you doing, Steve? I just saw you there. Bree, how are you? Um, but they had said they kind of was a little argumentative about it, and they said you have to keep your acceptance rating up, or you'll. If they find out that you're cherry picking, they will deactivate you. And as nicely as I could put it, and I said that is incorrect, and I like with Spark, it's in the terms of use, and I know it's in DoorDash and Uber Eats too. I just don't know exactly where, but in Spark, I know where it's at, and I looked it up, copy and pasted it. They cannot dictate what orders you take, the jobs that you accept. So they and once I put that on there, they never said another word. But that's the whole thing. Some drivers think that the acceptance rate really, really matters. And in most cases, it really doesn't, especially with Spark. Um, it might have more influence on DoorDash than it does Spark, but very little does it make a difference with Spark. I do think there are certain circumstances that it could make it a little different, but you're still going to get orders. But yeah, a lot of people think that you have to. Take snacks with you. Buy from a dollar shop to keep the snack costs down. put the snacks and the drinks in the cooler for yourself. Buy a box of crackers and put them in the Tupperware container. I know. I used to do that. I didn't actually get a cooler, but I would have like a bag of chips or stuff that I would take with me. That way, I didn't have to spend the extra. And I need to get back into that habit. It would save. But like today, we ate a bite before we went to work, and I mixed me up uh, water with that Kool Aid stuff. What's that stuff called?
Neo,
Huh?
Neo,
Mio.
that water stuff.
Yeah, some kind of liquid stuff to put in that water makes it like Kool Aid. But anyway, that lasted me pretty much the whole time.
Neo.
Mio. Anyway, uh, my grandkids had that, and I've got it on shopping orders. I just never had tasted it. But my grandkids had some over at my mom's, and I tried it. It's pretty good stuff. But anyway, it's a lot better than drinking Coke, especially when it's 100+ degrees out there. You'll save from keeping buying from petrol station. Oh man, yeah. Well, even at Walmart, if you buy a cold Dr. Pepper or whatever, it's like 2.29 or something. That's ridiculous. Spark Pay has gone down, and so has Roadie Pay. I haven't done a Roadie in I don't know how long. I'll see something and look at it. And like, you got to be insane. You're actually some of the orders that I have seen. You would probably by the time going by what I found out today, the 9 cents per mile for maintenance, and you subtract your gas and all that, it actually would be probably working for next to zero, literally, on some of the roadie orders I've seen here lately. I sure spark loaders give a. There's that thing in the way again. Let me look over here. Spark loaders. Spark loaders give us our orders, and the regular drivers all load their own cars. It's easy way to know where things are. Oh. So y'all's loaders just bring the totes out and they don't load nothing. Ours will. Well, one of our loaders at one of the WalMarts. I'm not going to say which Walmart. He has to sit there and literally does this and looks and like and has to, I guess, can figure out what he's going to put in in the. I've got totes in the back of my car, but he has to stop and think about where he's going to put the stuff. And Lord have mercy if you say something to him about you might put the the case of water. I've got one tote that's bigger and it's easy to get in and out of. I got another tote, it will fit in, but you have to nearly take the whole tote out because you can't get any room to get it out. Oh Lord, that confused him so bad. I just can't say anything to him anymore about it. But yeah, I'll load my back seat and they can load the trunk. And like with that one loader, I wind up loading the back seat, and then I to come back around and start helping him finish loading the trunk. Really slow. Good, nice kid. He just gets really confused, and he's been there for a while now, so he being new is not an excuse. The loaders would, but it's easier to do it yourself. I've had a loader screw up my order once. I think the other drivers have. I was like, yeah, they do screw up the orders. There is no doubt about that. But like I said, I'll do the back seat and let them do the trunk. But anyway, yeah, I just don't think people are putting the blame on in the right place on the pay scale. Because you can get on Reddit and you can read everybody wants to crap about. Spark and about DoorDash and all of them, but it's not them. They're companies. They're out to make a profit. You know, that's the way you would be if you own the company. What was that talking?
It's the robot vacuum.
I thought it was. And the robot vacuum going crazy again.
Something's wrong with the battery.
Uh-oh. Anyway, yeah, you can't blame them for trying to make a profit. And as long as these drivers are taking these 650 orders, they're going to continue to drop them. The one order, I don't have the screenshot. It was $6 and like 13 cents. It was a weird number. So that made the base pay, because there was no tips on it, made the base pay like $3.07 or whatever. So the base pay on some orders is starting to drop. Here, it may have already dropped where you are, or it may be fixing to. But the cool thing is, I still see people making comments that they're still making $1,000 to $1,200 a week just doing Spark and not even doing it like 50 hours a week. They're working 30, 35 hours a week. And that's what it was 6 months ago to a year ago here. Well, about a year ago. But yeah, I've got that screenshot on here. I might can hold it up. Where's the gallery? Gallery. Well, here's some of the orders. I don't know if I can get it to focus. If you can see that. Well, I don't know. It was $6 and something. I think. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, it was six something. But some of these is after they've been surging. You know, when nobody takes them and the price keeps going up. Oh, wait, I went back too far. That's why I couldn't find it. Oh, man. That was a good one, though. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. That was that was a good curbside pickup. That and the tip actually stuck. I was really surprised. It was like a $27 tip. I couldn't believe it, but it stuck. But that's what, and see, that's the thing. Spark orders used to be that. And these newer drivers that's been driving for 6 to 8 months and less, they couldn't imagine that. And then they're thinking, I don't know what y'all are griping about. Well, if you knew what we were making compared to what we're making now, it's robbery. But the drivers is what's caused it, because the drivers are. Here's one for $6.83. I don't know where it went. I know. What's the last video I put out Monday? It's in that video, I think, somewhere in there. But nevertheless, um, yeah, yeah. I mean, what would you say the average was? Probably $25 to $35 every order, and now the average is $8 for every order. Yeah, it was that way too here, Tony. I mean, that that's why I was, that's a lot of reason why I quit multi-apping a lot is because I was driving too many miles and I could get one spark order, and that would cover be more than 3 or 4 DoorDash orders with less miles. And I just kind of started getting out of the multi-apping. But like I said earlier, in some markets, multi-apping is the thing, and that's where you can make the money. But here, I just wound up driving too many miles. But yeah, when you could make $27, $35 every order, some of them would be $70 and $80, and that tells you right there how much Walmart's actually making. Because if they could pay that then, and they've got twice as much business now, their profits are astronomical. I'm sure. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure they're way up there
I'd just like to have one day's worth.
of their profits.
Yeah.
Oh, we could retire, both of us. I'm not doing near as good. I've only had one day grossed over 400 since I lost DoorDash. Now, you're saying, well, I I don't know that I ever actually made that much money, even at the peak when I was making the most. I don't think I ever made 400 in a day. I might have some days at like 250 to 300, but there's a huge difference between where you live and Wichita Falls, Texas, as far as the cost of living and things like that. Now, I'm really you're lucky to make 100 to 150 a day here, no matter what apps you're doing. I wish more new drivers would more videos of experienced drivers before they started working. Yeah, yeah. Um, well, I say yeah. The one part, most of the videos, yeah, are good. They're all good to listen to. You should always be open minded to listen to whether you, and that's what I wrote on somebody's comment today. Whether you agree with somebody or you disagree with them, you should always listen because they might point something out that you didn't really think about. Don't be so headstrong that you think you know it all because the person that thinks they know it all is the person that knows less than anybody else. You going to bed?
I'm going to bed.
I
I'm
will
out.
be there soon. Uh, when I did Spark, I'd see drivers wait 45 minutes for an $8 order. Absolutely crazy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hear people saying that they wait, and I'm like, give it, especially if, because some of them were saying that they would be parked and they'd get mad because somebody else would come up beside of them and they would park and they would get loaded and they're still sitting there. But I would say give it like 10 to 15 minutes, especially if people's pulling up and getting loaded and gone and you're still sitting there. Because there's a good chance something may be screwed up on that order. Something may have happened to that order and they're having to reshop it. And that tell you, if they're having to reshop it, drop it for long wait time. Don't waste your time sitting there waiting on it. And then sometimes orders have been canceled, but they're still in the system. And you've got that order, but that order was canceled 3 hours ago, but it's still in the system. So always, and that's what I told them, wait about 15, 20 minutes at most and call in there and just check on that order just to make sure. Then you can make the decision where you want to stay and wait or you want to leave. And there are times that I had doing DoorDash. I would sit at a restaurant and I'd wind up with so much time invested and sitting there. I hated to leave and miss that order. Finally, I got to the point where screw it. I don't even want to know, and I'll just drop it. Those orders are not worth 45 minutes to wait on. That was crazy, and I've done it. So That, yeah, that would be an advantage to talking to people like Bud Soda, myself, uh, Lisa, Steve, Tony, Ray, National Womble, everybody, because we would tell you, don't waste your time. Get in there and get it. If you can't get it, get out. Move on to the next one. I like listening to the videos, other people's perspective. Yeah, I'm always open to listen to other people. You know, that's what I told that one guy. I don't care if somebody is young, if they're old. You know, I've learned from my grandkids. You know, I wouldn't say learn, but got a different perspective on things. So you should always listen to other people. You don't have to agree with them, but listen to them. But like the lady or the person that commented, I don't remember if it was a man or a lady, said that the Spark content creator that they watched said, take that first low ball order and then the rest of them will be good. I don't know about that. I don't really think that would be the case. And it might work for them where they're at. I don't know. It's just like with DoorDash. People say you have to take 2 or 3 really bad orders in order to get a good order. Well, some people consider $5.50 a good order. And when I was when I can get on DoorDash, it'll say I get a high paying order or high priority, and it'd be $5.50, $6, and really that's a high paying order. And I don't care if you take two or three 250 orders, you're not going to be guaranteed you're going to get a $15 order next. Now I know in St. Louis, I saw them. They had $15 or $20 DoorDash orders. That don't happen here. Even one of the highest paying or the highest priced steakhouses in Wichita Falls, Texas. I think the biggest order I ever got doing DoorDash was like $30, and that was going to a small town outside of Wichita Falls, and that was a big steakhouse. They probably had $300 worth of food, which is not much food when you're talking about steaks and all the fixings and all that. But the majority of the orders, a high paying order around here would be 10, $12. That's a good order. So I don't know that taking low ball orders even on DoorDash makes it you're a guarantee that you're going to start getting better orders. I've done delivery mostly for people of a lot of for a lot of years since my early 20s, mostly back home in London. Then I started door dashing. I watched yourself and Pedro. It's amazing what you learn. Well, if you learned something from me, I hope it was worth learning. I don't know. Just sharing experiences. You know, everybody's got an experience to share, and you can take something from everybody's experience, whether it's a good experience, bad experience, right experience, wrong experience. But if you just listen to people, take what they say and toss it around and come up with the best thing that works for you. A $15 ASAP is way more likely to be ready. Then you also don't have to worry about your on time rating. Oh, you're talking about on Spark for the, the one thing, and I haven't seen it in a while, but one thing that we was having issues here with for a while is we would have some orders surge, keep going up in price, and then you would accept them, and then you'd find out why. It's because that order ain't even been shopped yet, or it had been canceled, but the system keep, kept surging it. You know, that's why I say if you don't sit around in the parking lot waiting for that order to get loaded, because the store may not even have it. I don't take any DoorDash under 850. I haven't been able to get on DoorDash in about a month and a half. So I don't know what they're doing now, but I would have gladly been taking 850 DoorDash orders, because the DoorDash orders that I see are the ones that I took was like 550, maybe $7, and I will never, ever, ever do the by the hour again. I've done that twice and got screwed both times. I think it's a scam, and I think if you really, well, for me it was. Other people may have better experiences with it than I did, but I thought on if you could get on DoorDash, your off peak hours, between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock, would be a good time to work by the hour. It don't make no difference because you're only getting paid for an hour by the hour while you are on a order. The advantage of that is you have to sit around and wait on the order. You're working by the hour. I see the advantage of that, but the disadvantage, you don't see the payout, you don't see the tip, you don't see nothing, and you're just flying blind. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. And I think I was on DoorDash for about 2 hours and I made $14, and I was on the work for an hour. But then I found out that you only get paid while you're on an active dash, not while you're waiting for an order, but only on the active dash. So I see no advantage to it whatsoever. They only, if anything, there's a disadvantage because you can't see all the information. I don't know, and that's the way it is for me anyway. It may be different for other people, but for me, that's the way it's been. That's why I'll never do it again. Varies by market if they've recycled orders for the night before or just scheduled no tips, and then maybe, yeah. On Uber Eats, people take Walmart. Uh, yeah, somebody. I guess Uber Eats is still doing Walmart because somebody made a comment on my video about they don't take them because they're low. I've I've been, let's see, probably 3 years, somewhere around 3 years, maybe a little bit more, signed up with Uber Eats. I've never gotten a Walmart order. Never. I don't know if they don't do if Uber Eats doesn't do Walmart in every market, and maybe my market's one of them they don't do it in. I'm not sure. I've just never seen one. Take a Walmart order for $6 to $8, crazy now, decline, and never see them again. Yeah, that's the thing. If you decline an order, like a round robin, and then it'll come up as a first come first serve for $6 or $8, gone like that. And I'm like, people are crazy. Subtract your gas, subtract your maintenance costs, subtract all this, your tax, all that. It just they're just not thinking about it. And sadly, they're probably going to be sitting on the side of the road, broke down, and complaining on Reddit about they was making all this money and now they're not making nothing because their cars broke down. Well, they really wasn't making that much money. They wore their car out a lot quicker than what it should have wore out by taking all those $4 and $5 orders that are going 10 miles and $6 orders, $8 orders. I don't know. It's crazy. I just don't understand why anybody would want to do that. I had to change things up with DoorDash because I had too many people say they weren't getting their orders and too many violations. Wow. I still have mine, a contract violation, but I haven't gotten 100 yet. And it was because I was late because I was multi-apping. I was doing DoorDash and Uber Eats and Spark. This is why I believe stacking is so important to be profitable. It's business. Just have to get a hold of them. You know, I, in some ways I agree with that, but and you said it a while back. You gotta know, or would you say master your market? Which after I thought about that, I thought that means you got to know what restaurants are normally on time and have the stuff ready, and you got to know which ones you don't. And if you do know which restaurants you can depend on, yeah, you could definitely make more money. Trouble is, our restaurants, there's only like two or three of them in all of Wichita Falls that are actually ever on time. The rest of them, something always comes up. And Lord, there ain't no way I'll do Taco Bell anymore. I sit there and waited on. It's been a while now, but I sit there inside waiting on the order, and they was said, "Oh, we're working on it." And I was watching cars pull in the drive, and go around to the back to the drive-through, and pulling out. And I'm still sitting there waiting on that food. I walked out. I said, "You can just, I'll just cancel it." That was crazy. That was the last time I've ever been in a DoorDash. I mean, Taco Bell for a DoorDash order. I hate stickers. I just got one. Well, I mean, I didn't just get it, but it was, I moved my foot and it hit my ankle. Ouch. Oh, I haven't taken my any Walmart orders via Uber Eats as I don't know what we're picking up or if it's going to an apartment or not. I will say I did do, and this is a no no, but well, it's not really a no no. I did something for the first time in all of my deliveries career. Um, it was 2 cases of water, 5 bags of those some kind of cat litter stuff. They're in like paper bags, probably 10 pounds each, 15 pounds each. I don't know, kind of heavy. Um, it seems like there was like four of the multi flavored Gatorade packs. Anyway, it's quite a bit, and it was going to an apartment. And I knew when I took the order, I knew it was going to an apartment. Well, I didn't know if it was going to be upstairs or downstairs, but I thought I'll just take my time and I'll get it up there. Well, when I got there, the apartment stairs were about like this. I mean, literally steep. And I put my foot on there, and the stairs moved. I mean, they was wobbling. I was like, I sent the customer a text, and then I took the picture, and I made sure I held my camera down low. That's when knowing how to do photography comes in handy because you can get that camera at the right angle to where you can get everything you need and show what that stairs look like. And then I sent the customer a text, told them that I'm sorry, I'm not going to be physically able to bring those to your door. I left them at the bottom stairs, took the picture, and completed the order. But I did go ahead and contact driver support, and that way they could document it. I don't know if I would have had to or not, but they documented that the stairs was unsafe, and something else. So I was just covering myself. But I felt bad because that was the first time I've ever not put an order at the door. But I didn't want to carry that much. I didn't want to go up and down those stairs to begin with after I saw them and stepped on them. But I wouldn't have wanted to carry that much up there anyway. But I sure wasn't going to carry them up there with the stairs shaking like that. Who's going to pay my medical bills if I fall? It's like somebody got bit by a dog a while back, and they thought that they could get, I think it was Uber Eats or somebody to cover it. No, you can't. You signed the terms of agreement or terms of service. that released them of any liability whether you're on a delivery or not. Yeah, SOL. So there wasn't no way I was going to go fall off some stairs. We have five taco. Oh, wait. Miss Bud Soda's. Oh, Lisa's. I can't do Taco Bell order. My Taco Bell is horrible. They are rude. Oh, I don't. Maybe that's part of their training is to be rude and slow. Because they're. I've had one Taco Bell employee that was really nice. They went out of their way, and but that's the only time. My Taco Bell is pretty good, but my other one does that during the day and night, and they're usually fine because they want you out of the drive-through. Well, they won't let us go through the drive-through unless they're closed. But this was like 8 o'clock in the evening. It, I don't think it wasn't dark yet, but anyway, I'm hearing thunder. I don't know if she turned that sprinkler off or not. I'll go out there and check here in a minute. I need to get off here, don't I? I've been rattling and rambling on for over an hour. Usually, I'm late. I was on time tonight and everything. But yeah, I won't do a Taco Bell. Actually, McDonald's. A lot of people gripe about McDonald's, but pretty much we have one McDonald's that's hit and miss. The rest of them are they 95% of the time the order's ready. I don't really have a problem with them. They had a hold of Sparksport and in the heat, and I had the issue going up 3 flight stairs. They said ask customer if they can help bring up the order or just leave it in a safe spot. They could picture. I can't believe they would ask you to ask the customer. That would be kind of awkward. A lot of the customers, it, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but a few of the customers I've seen wouldn't help you to begin with. My only thoughts was on that one, and Emily helped ease my thoughts on it because I thought, what if that was a little old lady that lived in that upstairs apartment and now all her stuff's down there and she can't get it up there. But it's like Emily said, if it was a little old lady, she probably wouldn't be living in that apartment because of the way the stairs were. And I said, okay, that makes sense. It made me feel a little better. I just felt bad about doing that. I'm just, it's just not good practice. And like I said, that's the first and only time I've ever done that. I've heard of people doing it, and I understood why they did it, but I'd never had that situation. But that one I did. Glad that the internet is doing well for you tonight. Did they finally fix it for you? Um, I checked the speed earlier, and it actually seemed like it was running faster. Uh, Checking it right now. Yeah, the upload speed is still extremely well, not extremely slow, but it's slow. But the download right now it's let's see, it's almost been 743 megabits. But the upload is looks like it's going to be about 70. So it's a little better. I haven't seen anybody working on lines or anything, so I don't know. But they did give us free 30 days, and I think it was 109 a month, and now it's supposed to be 59. So I'm giving them benefit of the doubt. Unfortunately, we have no other choice. They are the only high-speed internet available where we live. There's other internet providers, but not for a high speed. And Emily has to have internet. But I mean, she works from home for Blue Cross, so she has to have it. And me, if during the day it was great. It's just the evenings. But this evening, it seems like, knock on wood, it's better. Spark knows it's been hot and it's been tough for us. I did do a couple of shopping orders earlier, and I took me and my mom. I took her to Sam's yesterday. Sam's what do you call it? Sam's store, Sam's wholesale, whatever. Sam's Club. We went to Sam's Club, and I brought my stuff in my big Grubhub bag, and I forgot to put it back in the car. So when I did my shopping orders today, I had the people's ice cream and stuff just sitting in the totes. Which, if you're going close to the store, it's not too bad. But this was going about 14 miles. You know, so I put it in the car earlier so I wouldn't forget it. As hot as it is, I really think you ought to put cold stuff in a cold bag. You ain't got to put. You ain't got to worry about getting. If you're doing food delivery, you ain't got to worry about it getting cold now. Worried about that? Just sit it in the on the dash or something. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. I had just been thinking about that, especially after that video I did Monday, and that's for I don't know. I guess a lot for me, for people watching my videos. That video has probably gotten more views in well, in the first 24 hours. Got more views than any video I've ever done. It for me, what do they call that? Viral. For me, it was a viral video. For other people, no, it ain't nothing. But for me, it was. It's had a lot of views. But I got a lot of comments, a lot of stuff, and it just makes you think. And people really need to realize who's really controlling the pay scale that we get, and then how much are you really making if you're taking those low ball orders that we control. That was the whole thing. And I don't know. I just wish everybody would just stop and think about it. You can't tell people, but you can kind of hint to them and maybe get them, just put a bug in their ear. Just get them to think about it a little bit. Monday night's video. Um, I don't, what did I don't, it was the last video. If you go, just go to the Bash and Grandpa's YouTube channel, click on videos, and it'll be that last one. But it's had a lot of views. I can get back to work. Hopefully, feeling better to work next week. Just don't get back out there too soon. You don't want to mess that leg up or anything, your ankle. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go check on the sprinkler because I hear looking at the radar. It's actually, I don't know, a little cell just popped up right above us. Maybe you should turn the sprinkler off. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I hope that oh no, there I am. Anyway, thanks for coming by. I enjoyed it. Thanks for y'all's talking back and conversing. I enjoy talking to y'all. I miss it when I can't do the lives. I really do. Those couple of weeks, I really miss it. I like hanging out, just shooting the bull. I need to earn some money, so yeah, I understand that one. Just hang in there; it'll come back around. You know, there's life's a roller coaster. It really is. And you got ups and downs. Right now, you're just kind of hanging a little low, but it'll get better. So hang in there. Y'all have a good one. Y'all, I really do appreciate y'all coming by. Y'all keep smiling and dashing and dancing and sparking. I guess I could add that in there. Anyway, just make sure you keep doing something because you're going to get old and fat and lazy like me. But for early, y'all have a good night and thanks again. And I will see y'all later. I'm going to click on end broadcast and then I'll say, bye, y'all.